Brandon Noel Keith, Streets of Rage, August 29th, 2016. Page 1. The year is 1991. The once peaceful city is overrun by crime. Axel Stone, a blonde-haired young man, is at the fitness complex in a martial arts competition with a no-name thug. The thug charges and is grabbed by the extended right arm by Axel, proceeds to throw him into the crowd, which some of whom provide a net for. He's thrown back into the ring and swings his left fist blindly. Axel roundhouse kicks him to the mat, and the match is over. Axel bows before putting a hand out. He lifts the loser up, who dizzily presses up against his chest, about to pass out. A brief moment as the crowd is cheering. Then the loser pushes himself away. In the locker room, the chief of police enters. Chief. Nice match, Axel. Axel. What are you doing here? Chief. I'm asking you back. It's funny how you and Blaze and Adam just up and leave. Axel. We gave you our 2 weeks' notice. Chief. Yeah, but I thought you just wanted more money. You can have it. Axel. Sorry. Chief. Then at least give me a real reason. Come on. You thought you were the best. What happened? Axel. Just let it go. Axel brushes past, departing. Down the hall is a judo match between a no-name woman and Blaze Fielding. The no-name woman jump kicks, to which Blaze rolls beneath. When the woman lands and turns, Blaze wraps her legs around her waist, bringing her to the mat. And Blaze finishes her with a chop to the throat. Page 2. Moments later, Blaze and Axel step out and walk together down the hall. Axel. Feeling good, Blaze? Blaze.
Yes, and what about you, Axel?
Axel. You know it. Blaze turns back to see the chief staring at them before moving towards the exit. Blaze.
Was he begging for us?
Axel. Of course he was. Blaze.
Has no idea what we got on him, does he?
Axel. Nope. Blaze.
Then let's collect Adam and refresh our own memories, shall we?
Down the hall, at a boxing match, a no-name boxer is being pummeled by Adam Hunter. Punch after punch, the no-name boxer swings once but misses, to which Adam brings his fist down for the final time. The loser drops unconscious. In the car, down the city street, Axel drives with Blaze in the passenger seat beside him, and Adam in the back seat. Adam. My little brother wants in on our little mission. Axel. And what did you say? Adam. He's too little, and this is no mere little mission. Who's got the tape? Blaze.
I do.
Adam. Play it again, Blaze, nice and loud. Page 3. Blaze puts the tape in the cassette player. She presses the play button. Chief. On tape. Yes, it's true. Mr. X is in control. Full control of this precinct. I answered him. As will everyone who wants to continue living. Blaze presses the stop button. Adam. Our vague, want to expand our horizons excuse worked, but now what? Are we going to chicken out, or are we... Axel. No chickens here, Adam. Blaze.
Mr. X controls everything.
Axel. Maybe almost everything, but certainly not us. We're gonna tear him down, wherever he is. Blaze.
That's the spirit.
Blaze puts her hand out. Axel removes his right hand from the wheel and slaps it down on hers. Then Adam brings his down on top. At Adam's place, Adam enters first, with Blaze and Axel entering after. Adam. Where are you, kid? Adam flips the light switch. Adam. Escape! As the apartment is illuminated, the three see it trashed. A look of shock on their faces, especially Adam's. Adam kneels down and picks up a smashed picture of himself next to his kid brother Skate. Adam. No. Adam lowers his head and wipes away a tear. Blaze kneels down and wraps her arms around him. Axel places his left hand on his right shoulder. Then Adam picks a crumpled note off the ground reading, "Come get him." Page 4. Later that night, a roaming gang are smashing street signs with bats and breaking store windows too. It's a riot as they laugh it up. Harmless citizens are pulled by their arms and a woman by her hair. They're screaming. But the punks are just laughing. The punks start punching and kicking these harmless citizens to the ground. And more so while they're on the ground bleeding. One old man is beaten to death and the punk above him spits on his fresh corpse. The woman is dragged into the alley and has her clothes ripped to shreds. She's trying to break free their grasp, but can't. She's knocked around and is about to be raped. But then headlights shine down on the gang of three. Their squinting eyes look ahead as the distraught woman crawls to safety. Now the car comes speeding forth. The gang of three are hit hard. Splat! The car stops. Axel steps out of the driver's side. Then Blaze, followed by Adam, step out of the passenger side. Axel, that's how it's done. Blaze.
Excellent.
Adam, no time to waste. Adam runs to the end of the alley to check if any of the three are still alive, but they are not. Then two more punks start creeping in. One with a chain, and the other with a baseball bat. Punk 1. Wrong place, wrong time. Punk 2. Yeah! Blaze leaps forth as the bat-wielding punk swings. Axel steps forth towards the chain punk. Blaze snatches the bat away and knees the punk in the groin. He lets out a high-pitched yelp before Blaze smashes the bat down upon his skull. Axel wraps the chain around the punk's neck. Page 5. Axel strangles the punk to death as Blaze stomps the other punk's head in. Adam comes running up and checks their bodies. Adam, think you could leave one of them alive? I'm trying to find my brother. Adam runs out into the street and sees 5 more punks stepping forth. He puts his fists up, ready to fight. Axel and Blaze join him, putting their dukes in as well. Dukes up. The punks charge. Adam slugs one in the chest. And as Blaze cartwheel kicks one of them in their faces. They go soaring back into the ground. Axel takes one by the throat, pushing him to the ground before punching him rapidly. Adam takes one punk and slams his head into the other's head. Adam, where's my brother? Random punk, fuck you! This random punk pulls a switchblade. He jabs it Adam's way. Adam takes it away and stabs the random punk in the forehead. This punk drops dead. Blaze continues her cartwheel kick assault, doing it once again and knocking the still standing punks to the street. Axel picks up the battered punk to his feet, and he holds his arms back as Adam approaches. Adam, your boss, Mr. X. And the punk, yes, so what? Axel, tell us where he is. Adam, and we'll let you live. The random punk spits in Adam's face. Adam wipes the spit away. Then he proceeds to punch the punk's gut over and over and over again. The punk throws up bloody vomit before being let go out of the game. Page 6. At Mr. X's high tower, Mr. X is cloaked in darkness as the chief of police enters. Mr. X, what the fuck are you doing here? Chief, the word on the street, 3 ex-police officers have started a war on crime. Mr. X, word travels fast in this city. Chief, you already know? Mr. X, you already know? Mr. X, I know everything. I even orchestrated it. Do you really Do you really doubt it? Chief, I guess not, but... Mr. X snaps his fingers. Two punks drag Skate, the little boy with the skates on his feet and a backwards cap on his head. Skate. Let me go! Chief. Adam's little brother? What's going on here? Mr. X. It's all part of the plan. Chief. Care to share? Mr. X. All in good time. Back on the streets of rage, Axel chases a punk into a grocery store. The punk quickly grabs the shopping cart and rolls it Axel's way, and Axel jumps on it, landing on the left and right metal edges before doing a spin and hop inside. And now the cart is rolling down the invading punk's way. The cart smashes into the punk, dropping him as Axel leaps in the air and lands safely on a display of watermelons. Two more punks come rushing up as a nearby shopper turns the corner, a gasp, and she turns right back around. Then she peeks around the corner to see Axel smashing a couple of melons over the punk's heads. Page 7. In a video rental store, Blaze is kicking a punk into a display case of VHS tapes. Another punk comes running up behind and tries to strangle her with a wire. But he's thrown over her head. And judo chopped him in there. He gags in pain and she kicks him across the face while he's down. Blaze exits the video rental store to see Adam bashing a punk's ribs with a baseball bat. Then the bat is pulled up, hitting the punk under the chin, splitting it open. A spray of blood and he's on the ground screaming, "Ah! Ah!" The bat is brought down on his skull. Blaze approaches Adam as Axel exits the store, with a big boot manager following him out. Boss lady.
Nice work.
Axel. Anytime. Axel runs over to Blaze and Adam. Blaze.
Adam, it's okay.
Adam. How do you know? How do I know they haven't killed him? Blaze.
Don't think that way.
Axel. Yeah, stay positive. Come on, you've got more asses to kick. Axel leads them away. Down a residential street, the wind is blowing gently. But a clown on a unicycle is juggling beer bottles, and his crew of two are taunting some citizens who run for their lives. Now Axel, Blaze, and Adam walk down the street. The 3 against 3 charge each other. Blaze glide kicks through the air and drops one of the punk's instruments. Adam shoulder presses the other random punk into the nearest brick wall. The unicycle clown punk is laughing, chucking his beer bottles. Blaze and Adam duck for cover until Axel tackles him off the unicycle. Axel gets to his feet, picking the clown up, before snapping his backbone. Page 8. Axel, Blaze, and Adam rush into the big park. Thunder rolls above. Within the storm clouds, and now rain begins to sprinkle down. Another gang of punks are spraying graffiti on a wall. They turn and snarl at the ex-cops. The gang advances. Axel uppercuts one, sending her marching back and out of the game. Adam slugs one across the face and then in the gut. Blaze quickly jabs one in the chest repeatedly, before taking him by the shoulder, pressing her right foot against his chest, and rolling back. He's thrown into the very wall he was tagging. Around the corner, as predicted, more thugs. Axel, Blaze, and Adam slide down the wet hill to greet them. The rain is pouring down now. One thug kicks at Axel, but Axel takes the leg and spins him around headfirst into a tree. One thug swings a fist at Blaze, but she takes the arm and snaps the wrist. This thug screams and has his nose palmed into his brain by Blaze. Another thug is racing towards Adam, but he drops and extends a leg, tripping him. He drops face first into the ever-deepening mud. But now a well-dressed lady in fishnet leggings and a red sexy suit and jacket, and a red beret. She whips her electric whip. Axel and Adam are struck. They're electrocuted to their knees and about ready to pass out. This whip lady pulls her whip back and whips it right at Blaze, who cartwheels out of the way. Whipping bitch.
Hold still, honey.
Blaze.
I'd rather not.
The whip is whipped again. Blaze backflips, narrowly evading it. The whipping bitch chuckles to herself, enjoying this little challenge and not being annoyed by it. Another whipping. Blaze is whipped and electrocuted. She lets out a high-pitched scream. Page 9. The whipping bitch starts slapping Blaze around a bit, and she's held tight. A slightly blood-smeared face as the raindrops clean the lot of it off. Axel and Adam try to crawl their way to them, but are too weak and drop. Whipping bitch.
Mr. X wants the three of you.
Blaze.
Why?
Whipping bitch.
That's for him to tell you.
Blaze wiggles herself out of the whip's grasp. The whipping bitch is right punched in the mouth hard. She spits blood and falls. Blaze spots a piece of paper tucked between the woman's breasts. Blaze takes it, unfolds it, then reads it aloud. Blaze.
Hello to Axel, Blaze and Adam. Skate is alive and well for now. But come directly to my high tower if you wish for him to remain that way. Mr. X.
Adam. That son of a bitch. Adam and Axel rise. Blaze.
He left us a map. Dead center of the city.
Adam. Yeah, we'll meet him there, and I'll kill him, bare knuckle. Blaze.
That's the spirit, Adam.
Axel. We'll do it together, as a team. The three put their hands out over one another's. Flash forward to the X Tower. Skate is chained up in a dark room, keeping his tears at bay, unsure of his fate. In Mr. X's office, he's smoking a cigar as his lower-level cronies are counting his cash. The chief just sits there. He's clearly not having as much fun as the others. Page 10. Axel, Blaze, and Adam kick the factory door down. Directly above them is the X Tower. The three move onward onto a giant weapons conveyor belt. Punks begin to emerge. Axel. Nice and easy now. The punks charge. Adam quickly elbows one in the mouth. And he goes rolling along, knocking another down like a bowling pin. And the two roll towards a crushing mechanism. The two are crushed rhythmically. Another punk swings a pipe at Blaze, but she rips it away from him and whacks him across the head with it. He goes falling over a rail into a vat of deadly chemicals. Axel punches one and then another right after. They go to punch him, but he takes their fists and slams them into the other one's opposite face. Axel. The trio move on, now onto an outer elevator. A wide platform is setting to the top. As they wait patiently and furiously charged, more thugs begin to rain down as the rain itself finally begins to cease. Lightning strikes the cityscape beyond, in clear view of them all. Axel drop kicks one to the ground, then kicks him into a roll off the side. A terrible scream as he falls to his death. Adam takes a couple of measly punches to the torso. But then he returns with a headbutt. And then a punch to the nose. This punk's nose is broken and bleeding severely. Adam slaps his hand over his temples. On Blaze now, who's tackled to the ground and punched repeatedly in the face. She lets out a scream. But then Axel and Adam tear the bastard apart. They hold him back as Blaze gets up. Blaze.
That really hurt, fucker.
Blaze judo chops his throat. Page 11. The trio break through the shattering glass. Off the elevator platform, they're moving down a big fancy hallway with fancy walls and carpet and even statues. Adam passes by and swats one of the statues off its stand. It breaks on the fancy red and black carpet. Adam, Mr. X, huh? At the end of the hall? Blaze.
That's what the map reads.
Adam races towards the door. Axel. Wait, Adam! Together, I said! Wait! Adam kicks the door down and throws the first thug who jumps at him into the TV set, smashing it to pieces. Another thug comes at him, swinging a knife. Adam takes the knife and slits the thug's throat before pushing him aside. Mr. X sits up from his chair, pressing a button on his armrest, which sends a metal door slamming down between this room and the hall, just before Axel and Blaze reach it. Adam, where's my brother? Mr. X snaps his fingers. Two thugs pull Skate out in chains. Skate. Adam! Adam. Skate! Adam races to hug his brother, but Mr. X roundhouse kicks him in the face, dropping him flat on his backside. Adam. Oh. Skate. Don't hurt him! Mr. X. I want you and your friends to join me, Adam. What do you say? Page 12. Adam wipes the blood from his mouth. Adam. I said, fuck you, motherfucker! Adam jumps to his feet and slugs Mr. X in the gut a few times. And then in the face. But it's to no avail. Mr. X clobbers Adam with a series of punches. About 10. Before throwing Adam over his head, breaking Mr. X's chair. Mr. X. Aw, damn it, that's gonna cost me. Adam slaps his fist on the armchair button before passing out. The metal door slides open and Axel and Blaze rush in. Mr. X gasps. Axel. Can't have a party without us, Mr. X. Suddenly, the chief of police stumbles out with a briefcase full of money and a handgun. He opens fire as Axel and Blaze hit the deck. It's a real nice thing what you did to that boy, Tommy. Axel charges Mr. X, but is thrown into the corner. Blaze wraps her legs around the chief's waist, bringing him to the ground. She takes the handgun and fires at the two remaining thugs. Headshots and they're dead on the spot. Chief. Oh no! Blaze presses the gun against the chief's forehead and squeezes the trigger, blowing the brains out the back of his skull. Then she aims at Mr. X, squeezing the trigger, but it's empty. He pulls a Tommy gun and fires at her. She rolls out of the way, back down the hall. Axel jumps up and kicks the gun out of his hand. Mr. X growls, and is being beaten senseless by a series of rapid punches. One of which brings flames. Mr. X stumbles out the window. Adam awakens and hugs his brother Skate. Outside, the four are headed home as the sun rises. The end. Brandon Noel Keith. Streets of Rage 2. August 30th, 2016. Page 1. The year is 1992. At their favorite night spot, a bar in the city, our three heroes are reminiscing on the one-year anniversary of the defeat of Mr. X. Axel Stone, Blaze Fielding, and Adam Hunter all drink from shot glasses. Axel. Remember that Electra bitch? With the whips? Blaze.
How could I forget?
Adam. Damn, you knocked her ass out. Blood just exploded out of her mouth. Blaze.
Yeah, but did you see? Well, you were passed out at the time.
Adam. What did I miss? Blaze.
Axel here knocked Mr. X out a window.
Adam. Right. Blaze.
That fire engulfed Axel's arm for a minute. In the final punch.
Axel. She's not kidding. Adam. That's amazing. Blaze.
By the way, did it burn?
Axel. A little, but it was worth it. Adam. Yeah, and you helped me get my brother back. I'll never forget it. Thank you both. Blaze.
That's what friends are for.
Axel. Adam, you don't have to keep thanking us. Once is enough. They all take another shot. Axel. Blaze and I have to get going. Adam. Yeah, me too, actually. Page 2. Out of the city, Axel drives Blaze in their car on this clear night. They've got a house on the outskirts in view of the city. Inside, Axel and Blaze are kissing one another and getting undressed. Later in the night, they hold each other tight with the full moon's light shining in on them. We return to the city, with Adam having returned to the police force under a less corrupted precinct. It's a woman, and she points her finger for him to get back at there, because he's got the night shift. Out on the street in a patrol car, Adam drives along. He looks one way and then the other. Suddenly, he witnesses a woman at gunpoint in an alley. He stops the car quickly. Adam jumps out, pulling his handgun. He rushes into the alley, and the gunman drops his gun and puts his hands up. Gunman: "Take it easy, officer." Adam: "Hands on top of your head and lay down on the ground, lie still." The gunman obeys, but then more punks are creeping up from behind and ahead. The woman in distress is laughing. This was a setup. She kicks the gun out of his hands, and he bitch slaps her. She hits the ground. Adam backhands a punk in the face, before kicking another back into another. He turns to another and starts punching him at rapid speed. But then a pipe to the back of the head. Adam hits the ground, and he's kicked and beaten mercilessly by the gang. The next morning, at Axel and Blaze's house, the phone is ringing. And ringing some more before going silent. At the mayor's mansion, Axel has a new job as a security guard, complete with black suit and sunglasses. The city mayor is having a party, but then an explosion interrupts everything. Page 3. Mr. X is seen briefly in an overhead helicopter. He aims his Tommy gun and opens fire. Axel quickly runs to the mayor and shoves him out of the way of the gunfire. Many guests are killed. Mr. X laughs before saluting his carnage and taking off. A little later, the furious mayor doesn't know what to do. Mayor: "Mr. X is back. I heard you because you said you killed him." Axel: "Sir, I said I stopped him. We didn't find his body. I told you that, sir. Please." Mayor: "You're fired." Axel sighs, then walks away. But then he starts focusing his thoughts on Mr. X. He has clearly returned. And that can't be good. At a dance complex, Blaze is the dance instructor, teaching both boys and girls to dance. Blaze:
Right hand in the air, left hand at side.
She does what she says, and her students do the same. Axel appears at the doorway, waiting. Blaze:
Swing arms violently in a forward circular motion.
Axel watches them obey her. Blaze:
Thrust hips back and forth, while bending knees in at a 45-degree angle.
Axel continues to watch. Blaze:
Good, and that's the windmill.
Blaze spots Axel. Blaze:
We'll take a break, and I'll teach you the running man.
Everyone leaves. Blaze walks up to Axel. They embrace a moment before unwrapping. Page 4. Time passes, and the students return to see they have a new teacher. Arnold: The running man, was it? On the street out of the city, with the sun shining down upon them, Blaze drives Axel home with the roof down. Blaze:
I'm sorry he fired you.
Axel: That's beside the point, Blaze. Now that Mr. X is back. Blaze:
He's going to want revenge.
At their house, they enter to see Skate, skating from the kitchen with a soda can in hand. Blaze:
Skate? What's up?
Skate is teary-eyed. He pulls a picture out of his pants pocket and hands it to her. She looks upon it in horror. Axel takes it from her now. It's of Adam, tied by the ankles, hanging upside down and gagged. Mr. X is seen smiling off in the far corner. Adam himself looks beaten and is bleeding. Axel shows his teeth in anger. Skate: We have to get him back. You have to help me. Axel: We will, kid. Don't worry. Blaze:
Where do we start? The tower?
Axel: Sure. Blaze drives, with Skate in the passenger seat, towards the old X tower. Axel is in the back with a rocket launcher. He aims and fires. Again and again, the X tower is being hit by the rockets, which explode upon impact naturally. The X tower is being demolished, slowly but surely. A gang storms out. Page 5. Axel and Blaze rush out of the car and begin to beat the punk's senses. One by one, Axel clotheslines one, while Blaze jumps up and spins around, kicking one in the face and into a wild spin. Skate skates along and ducks as Owen attempts to knock him down. He spins around and jump kicks with his left leg before swiping with his right. A double kick leaves the punk floor. Skate skates backward and backflips with ease, dropping a punk giving chase with a hard kick to the chin. Back to Axel and Blaze knocking some others around with their fists. Blaze then does the split, punching a punk in the crotch. Axel. Mrs. Cage? Axel, Blaze, and Skate rush out of the daylight into the weapons factory. Down the conveyor belt, Axel front flips and drop kicks 2 punks to the ground simultaneously. Blaze jabs at another in the chest a few times before uppercutting him. Skate ducks, rolling away with a fist-swinging punk. When the punk turns around, Skate pokes his eyes out of his skull. The punk screams madly. Now the 3 heroes race down the fancy hall. Smoke and fire here. Axel kicks down the door at the end of the hall. There's Adam Hunter, hanging from the overhead fan line. Skate gasps, dropping to his knees in tears. Blaze fights back the tears as well. Axel looks away, closing his eyes in disgust. Skate. Adam! No! No! Suddenly the wall breaks apart by heavy gunfire. Axel, Blaze, and Skate duck for cover, with Blaze over Skate. The entire wall falls apart, and there's Mr. X in his helicopter, with his bodyguard Shiva, flying the damn thing. Mr. X. Glad you made it, my friends. Now I can kill you all! Page 6. Axel leaps from the office floor and onto the helicopter. He rips the Tommy gun from Mr. X's hand and throws it into the office where it slides in front of Blaze. She picks it up as punks begin to emerge. Axel slugs Mr. X in the gut a few times, but then is backhanded out of the helicopter, which goes flying away. Blaze guns down 3 of the 5 punks, but the other 2 duck for cover. Blaze.
Time to go.
Blaze and Skate dash across the fancy hall. The 2 remaining thugs leap out and slap Blaze around. Skate spin kicks one away, while the other kicks Skate back. And he rolls into a statue, knocking it over, shattering it. Blaze grabs hold of his thug's right shoulder and drives her fist into his face multiple times at high speed. When she lets him go, he drops. Now Blaze picks Skate up in her arms, and she races with him to the window at the opposite end of the hall. The fire and smoke rises behind them. The building is coming down, shaking. Blaze and Skate land on the outer platform. Around the corner comes the helicopter. While Axel hangs tight to the landing gear, Mr. X aims a rocket launcher of his own at the slowly descending outer elevator platform. He fires and the rocket soars. It blows up, and Blaze and Skate move duck and roll out of its way. Axel looks back in shock, still holding on. He climbs up and sweeps Mr. X off his feet with his right leg. He's atop him and punching him in the face repeatedly. Mr. X growls and takes Axel's fist with his right hand, before punching him out of the helicopter with his left. Shit, I almost punched myself. Down the burning platform goes at top speed, with Blaze and Skate screaming. Page 7. Blaze and Skate leap away as Axel lands nearby on a patch of soft grass. The elevator platform smashes down on fire. Then the 3 heroes turn back and back off as the X-Tower crumbles atop the weapons factory. Onlooker citizens watch from afar in awe. Now Axel, Blaze, and Skate watch as the helicopter flies away. We return to the bar at midday. Axel, Blaze, and Skate are drinking from big pitchers of beer, except Skate has got water. Skate. I really need a stronger drink, you guys. Axel. Your brother wouldn't want that. Skate. Like that matters now. He's dead. Blaze.
We're taking care of you. But first, we're taking care of that bastard.
Skate. Now you're talking. What are we waiting for? Axel. A friend. Just then, does a big man enter the bar. He approaches and has a seat. Axel. Everyone, this is Max Thunder, former wrestler. Blaze.
Pleased to meet you.
Skate nods once. Max. Having some problems, I hear. I'm here to help. Mr. X is back, as you're all well aware. I know where he's hiding. Skate. Where? Max. A desolate island not far. I have the coordinates. Axel. But first we're gonna hit the streets, clean the city up. Max. You bet we are. They all slap hands together. Page 8. The bartender cleaning a glass with a rag sets the glass down and steps down. Punks start crowding around. The four heroes stand up. Blaze.
Bad company.
Axel. Let's rock and roll. Max picks up the table and throws it across the bar. Two of the punks are knocked out cold. Axel leaps in the air, glide kicking another punk in the face, sending him into a back room. Skate skates along, grabbing a punk by the leg and yanking hard, dropping him. Blaze cartwheel kicks one, then another, and another, with speedy ease. Max grabs a punk by the back of the neck and crushes his neck. In the back room, two punks charge Axel with chains. Axel sidesteps out of the way as they swing their chains. Axel then palms one in the chest, whilst taking the chain, then whipping it towards the other as he whips the chain back. Both chains are wrapped around one another, but Axel pulls his arm back in an instant. The last standing punk is pulled forth and kneed in the gut before being hammered by Axel's right fist. Right to the floor. Axel grins. Back to Max pile driving a punk head first through a small round table covered in glasses. Smash! Shattered glass, and now he turns to Skate rolling by, being chased by yet another punk. Skate spins around, grabbing a pool stick. He starts beating the chaser punk with it. Over to Blaze, jumping wildly out of the way of a punk behind the counter, throwing glasses at her. Blaze catches a bottle of the beer thrown at her and throws it right back. It smashes in the punk's face, and he screams with glass shards sticking out. Ah! With blood dripping out as well. We return to Axel, kicking the back door down. He steps out into the back alley. Page 9. The tall bartender is waiting and ready for a fight. Axel comes down upon two punks there, who charge him. Axel grabs one and throws him into the other, and they smack against the wall. Axel grabs a trash can and throws it at them. As they try to get up, now he faces the bartender down. Back in the bar, Max shoulder presses three punks out of his way like a juggernaut. Back to Skate whipping the former chaser punk with a pull stick. And he breaks it even. Then Skate curiously cocks his head to hear this punk weeping in a cradled position on the grounds. Skate giggles. Upon Blaze now slamming another punk's head down on the piano. The lid slams on him. Back in the back alley, Axel is thrown over the bartender's head into a wall. Axel drops and is kicked repeatedly in the ribs by this anything but tender bartender. Axel is picked up and thrown again. Axel rolls a bit, then picks himself up. The bartender runs at him angrily. Axel uppercuts him. The bartender stumbles back and is now being hit again and again in the torso. The bartender swings, missing. And Axel snaps his neck via a punch in the nose. The bartender drops dead. Blaze, Skate, and Max step out as Axel turns to them. Cut immediately to a street corner nearby, where Axel is uppercutting a Mohawk punk into the wall. All the while, a punk is being stabbed in the gut by Blaze. and Skate throws his fist at a blocking punk. The blocking punk smacks Skate to the ground and laughs. Max comes up from behind and breaks the punk's back over his knee. Max helps Skate up to his wheels. The four of them enter an arcade room. More punks are seen here, harassing the gamers. One arcade-playing couple, a boy and girl, are being pushed around. Hey, stop it! Page 10. Axel front flips and face kicks a punk to the ground. Skate elbows another punk in the back. Ow, I bit my tongue! Before skating into another, sending him stumbling ahead into an arcade machine. Blaze is swung into a wall and then thrown over the price counter. The punk hops over and is met with her foot in his face. He goes flying up into the ceiling head first. A wildly dressed beast of a man with long spiky hair tackles Max to the ground. More of an animal than a man, Max's sides are being cut up a bit. Max smacks the beast off him. Max gets up and shoves his fist into the monster's face. The monster sinks his teeth into the fist and Max growls in pain. The beast shoves Max back with all his might before roundhouse kicking him to the wall. That's when Skate skates by and wraps his arms around the beast's neck, trying to strangle him. The beast throws Skate off of them with great ease, and Skate is caught by Axel. Max picks up the nearest arcade machine and throws it at the monster. The monster is struck by and is sent smashing into a wall, crushed by the machine. Max. That's the end of that chapter. Out on the street, Axel, Blaze, Skate, and Max step out. They spot a cargo ship ready to depart. Max. That's our ride. Suddenly, bikers start riding up towards them on their motorbikes. The four heroes rush out onto the bridge. Skate is knocked down by a ride-by biker. Blaze jumps up and split kicks two of the bikers off their bikes. Axel jumps and extends his right leg to kick a third off his bike. He's successful. Max picks up a fallen bike and smashes it down on one of the fallen bikers. Axel gets on a bike and revs it up. Page 11. Upon the cargo ship, Axel rides off the bridge on his motorbike, with Blaze sitting behind him. Max rides another bike with Skate behind him. The two bikes land on the deck of the ship. The bikes are let go. A couple of big fat boys come running by, breathing fire. Four heroes jump out of the way, but then the fat boys come back for more, still breathing fire. Axel picks up a sword from the ground and spears one through the mouth. The fat boy falls over dead. Max grabs the other one and throws him overboard. Out of the darkness now steps a big bear of a boxer and a painted wrestler with long hair, just as big. Max gravitates towards the fellow wrestler. Blaze charges the boxer and is thrown into the dark corner. Now Axel comes stepping up. The boxer swings, and Axel sidesteps out of the way. Skate skates by, and is clotheslined by the wrestler. Max tackles the wrestler, and the two begin to roll around on the deck viciously. Blaze rises to see the two ladies, twins, about her size. She puts her fists up, and they jump up and kick her back to the ground. A thud, and Blaze grunts in pain. Max is thrown off of the wrestler, who's rising. Max charges, and is picked up and slammed down. Back to Axel, dodging the boxer's punches. Axel punches back. The boxer is only mildly annoyed by this. Then he knocks Axel back with a punch to the face. Skate picks himself up. He's a bit wobbly, then skates away from the wrestler, lunging at him. But it's a fake-out, just to see what the kid would do. The wrestler laughs, before turning his head to Max, slugging him in the jaw, and then in the gut. Max picks the wrestler up, high above his head, before throwing him overboard. Back to Axel, a little bloody, dodging more of the boxer's punches. Page 12. Blaze is getting her ass kicked into the wall. She turns, swings and misses. The twin starts slugging her in the ribs. Blaze screams in pain, but is shut up by a punch in the bloody mouth. Blaze drops to her knees and is taken by each arm. The twins bring their legs up and kick Blaze into the unconsciousness. Blaze hits the deck in defeat. Back to Axel being punched back again by the boxer. The boxer turns and knocks Max out, who was attempting to catch him by surprise. Now the boxer advances towards Axel very slowly. Axel spots a fire axe and picks it up. The boxer's eyes light up. He turns to run, and Axel sticks the axe in the boxer's back, killing him. The twin ladies turn to Skate skating by. He pulls a thick rope tied to a latch, and he skates around, tying the ladies up tight. Now Skate helps Blaze to her weakened feet. Skate. You okay, Blaze? Blaze.
Yes, thanks for the help.
Suddenly, the ship closes in on Mr. X's island. Max is helped to his feet by Axel. The four step upon the bow as it gently crashes against the sandy beach. The ship tips over gently but surely. Axel, Blaze, Skate, and Max climb off the ship. There's ninjas crowding around, with swords in hand. Axel. Well, we're here. So much for a warm welcome. Blaze.
If we live through this, Axel.
Axel. Vacation? Blaze.
Yeah, hon.
Axel. You got it, baby. The four charge the ninjas. Axel snaps one's wrist, taking a sword, then proceeding to stab him in the back with it. Skate skates away from him. Page 13. Axel cuts another ninja's throat wide open with the sword. Max barrel rolls about and knocks two away. Skate picks up a fallen tree branch and beats a ninja across the face. Blaze picks up a sword and splits open a ninja's gut. His intestines spill out onto the sand. Now Axel and Blaze are sword fighting back to back. Until shortly after, the ninjas are stabbed in the heart. Just then does a jetpack thug come flying by, dropping Shiva, the Mr. X bodyguard, and helicopter pilot. Shiva dives out of the way of Max's punches. Shiva roundhouse kicks Max to the sandy ground. Skate looks up at the jetpack thug in awe. The jet thug turns and flies right at Skate, who's having trouble skating on the sand. Blaze sees the jet thug going after Skate and tries to help him. Blaze.
Skate, watch out.
The jet thug picks Skate up off the ground and flies him up into the air. Blaze.
No.
Skate falls from the sky, having been dropped. Blaze can't believe it, but Skate is dead on impact. Blaze weeps. Axel is being kicked around by Shiva. Axel tries to stab at Shiva, but Shiva smacks his sword away and knees Axel to his own knees. Then Axel has the back of his head punched. Axel is flattened. Max gets up a little weaker, reaching for Shiva, but Shiva brings his foot up. Max arches up, spitting blood into the air, before falling unconscious. Shiva smiles and waves at Blaze as she's picked up by the jet thug, and promises the same experience Skate got. In the air, however, Blaze is putting up more of a fight. She tears angrily into the jet thug's face. Soon enough, he's begging for mercy. Page 14. Down from the sky, Shiva sees the body drop. But it's the jet thug's body, without his jetpack. Shiva looks a bit afraid at this point. Then he turns to face Axel's fist. Again and again. Shiva is being knocked around. Shiva backflips away. But Axel jumps up and kicks him in the throat. Shiva chokes and is being punched over and over in the torso. Shiva vomits. just before Axel caves his face in with a fiery punch. Axel. Yeah, eat it. Blaze lands with a jetpack on her back. Everyone crowds over Skate's dead body. A great sorrow overcomes them. Time passes. Skate has been buried, right where he died. Axel, you fought well, Skate, in the name of vengeance against your brother's killer. Now you join him. We'll miss you, kid. Blaze.
We love you. Skate.
Max. Yeah, go with God. The three move on. In the jungle of this island, Axel, Blaze, and Max head right for Mr. X's hideout. Max is leading them there. Suddenly, a couple of robots hop from beyond the trees. It was a surprise attack. They swing their chain arms and steel ball fists. The three are knocked to the ground. The robots hop about and swing their ball and chain hands and arms again as the three get up on them. They're knocked down again. The robot pair hop and hop some more. Max leaps up and rips a tree out of the ground angrily. He batters one into the ground, smashing it to pieces, but then the remaining robot smacks Max away. Axel gets up and roundhouse kicks the robot's head off, but it still knocks Axel back. Blaze gets up and fiercely tears their body apart until it dies. Page 15. Axel and Max in an elevator, headed up Mr. X's island tower. The doors open. They step out to Mr. X staring them down. He sits up from his seat. Mr. X. Join me, both of you. Be my right hands. Axel. Nope. Mr. X shows his teeth in anger. He pulls the pin of a grenade and throws it at him. Axel and Max jump in opposite directions. They evade the explosion narrowly and watch as Mr. X tries to escape. Max advances first. He tackles Mr. X to the ground. Then Mr. X slaps his hands on Max's skull, crushing it slowly. Max screams. Axel runs up and is kicked back just as quickly. Max Thunder's head is smashed. He's dead. Axel gasps in horror and disbelief. Mr. X leaps at Axel, who cartwheel kicks Mr. X across the head. Mr. X hits the ground. Mr. X turns and it is revealed that he's a robot, as he stares at Mr. X's robot face beneath. Axel. No way. The Mr. X robot runs for his helicopter. Axel chases after, but the robot gets away. Axel is left behind with Max Thunder's body. In the air, the Mr. X robot pilots the helicopter far from the island. Thinking he's won, but then Blaze Fielding flies by via jetpack. She lifts a rocket launcher and winks at the robot with a cheesy smile on her face. Blaze fires. The rocket blows the helicopter out of the sky in a rain of fire, smoke, and metal. A few days later, Axel and Blaze attend the funerals of Adam and Skate Hunter, as well as Max Thunder. They fought on the streets of Rage with all their might. And if it wasn't for them, Axel and Blaze might not be standing tall now. Axel and Blaze leave, hand in hand, grateful to their fallen friends, ready for a vacation. The end. Brandon Noel Keith, Streets of Rage 3, August 31st, 2016. Page 1. The year is 1994. The city is still in the grip of crime. Mr. X is still in control of the crime syndicate, but has only been whisper and rumor since his robot counterpart was destroyed off X's desolate island. Axel Stone and Blaze Fielding have rejoined the much less corrupted police force recently after a long vacation, just like their late friend Adam Hunter did prior to his death 2 years ago. In the Lady Chief's office, she's grilling Axel and Blaze, in uniform for a change, about their private status as lovers versus their public status as partner officers. She's in the mindset of separating them. Lady Chief.
I don't know if this is going to work, you two. You two as lovers. And as partners here on the force. I know that's how you started out. But things work differently now. I might have to.
Blaze.
You just have a crush on him, don't you? Or me?
Axel, take it easy, Blaze. She's still our boss. Lady Chief.
I always knew you were the sensible one, Axel.
The Chief blushes. Blaze.
I fucking knew it.
Axel. I don't love her, Blaze. I love you. Axel pulls Blaze closer, tighter. They kiss passionately. The Lady Chief doesn't like this one bit. But she composes herself, in spite of the fact she wants to erupt like a volcano. Lady Chief.
I want you two to solve the case of all this robot nonsense. But if I don't see results within the next few days, I'm separating the both of you indefinitely.
Axel and Blaze salute the Chief and step out of her office. Page 2. Axel drives the car on a seemingly quiet night. Blaze is next to him in the passenger seat. They are listening to groovy music. And behind them is the police station they just left. A bomb levels the complex. Axel hits the brakes. The next morning, Axel and Blaze are being questioned by a no-name internal affairs agent, and it's concluded that Mr. X was behind the bombing, unsurprisingly. Across the bridge, exiting the big city, Axel drives Blaze home, to their house on the outskirts. But just as they arrive, their house is subject to a massive explosion. In total shock, they watch the total destruction of it. A little later, at a robotics laboratory, Axel and Blaze meet with their new friend, Dr. Zahn, a tall, thin, and muscular bald cyborg, with a white mustache and eyebrows. Dr. Zahn. I'm sorry about the police station, and your home. This is a war, you know. Axel. We know, Dr. Zahn. All too well. Blaze.
But there's only one thing we can do about it. The same solution that's worked before.
Axel. Yeah, we're gonna find Mr. X. Put a stop to this. For good this time. Dr. Zahn. Ever consider cybernetic enhancements? Axel and Blaze shake their heads with looks of distrust. Dr. Zahn. It's not for everyone. Well, how do you want to start? Axel. Usually we just start kicking asses until we get somewhere. Basically just blind luck mostly. Blaze.
Yeah, basically.
Dr. Zahn nods a few times. Page 3. A gang stands outside a warehouse. They're trying to recruit for Mr. X's robot army. Wrestler Punk. Listen, we've got what you want. To be a robo-warrior. Invincible. Scaredy Punk. So why aren't you one? Wrestler Punk. Because I'm already a badass. The sound of Dr. Zahn revving a chainsaw. Wrestler Punk. What the fuck is that? The Wrestler Punk runs away as Dr. Zahn races forth. He cuts down 2 scaredy punks. Now Zahn enters the warehouse. Blood drips from his mini chainsaw, which is attached to his robo-hand. Dr. Zahn. Come on out, asshole. The painted wrestler pushes a stack of crates from a second story upon Dr. Zahn. Zahn is buried, and the wrestler hops on down with a big grin. Wrestler Punk. How'd that feel, old man? Suddenly, Zahn's chainsaw tears through the wooden crates. The wrestler backs off as Zahn stands tall. Zahn leaps upon the wrestler, but Zahn is thrown into a big stack of crates. Smash! The wrestler approaches, more confident than before. Zahn stands tall again. The wrestler charges and shoulder presses Zahn into a parked cargo truck. The trailer side is dented badly, but Zahn is only fazed by this. Zahn advances. The wrestler is backing away now. Wrestler Punk. Damn, cyborg! The wrestler picks up a crate and desperately throws it at Zahn. But the crate is punched to pieces by a single hit. Now Zahn leaps to the wrestler and chainsaws his head in half. Page 4. The sun is rising. Axel walks along the docks when suddenly a speedboat rides up. There's Shiva and a gang of 4 thugs ready for a fight. Axel. Thought you were dead. Shiva. I'm his robot counterpart. Axel. But of course. The thugs hop off the speedboat onto the dock. One leaps and Axel roundhouse kicks him into another. And the two dance off the dock into the water. Robo Shiva rolls his eyes in disappointment. The remaining two walk up. Axel backs away calmly, evading their pathetic punches. Then he uppercuts one into a backflip and face-first landing. The last one gets angry. Axel, I haven't got all day. The thug pulls a knife. He swings it at Axel. But Axel takes his wrist and makes him shove his own knife between the eyes. He drops dead, and Axel lifts his sights to Robo Shiva climbing out of the boat and onto the dock. Robo Shiva, I'm gonna enjoy this. Robo Shiva leaps with his leg extended. Axel takes his leg and throws him toward the fish shop. Robo Shiva's foot hits the fish shop wall, and he pushes himself up it, coming right back and kicking Axel back into a stumble. Axel lands flat on his ass on the speedboat. Now Axel takes control of the speedboat and rides off. But not before Shiva leaps from the dock and onto the boat's end. Shiva climbs onto the back seat as Axel controls the boat. He looks back and grins. Axel spins the wheel, and the sudden turn of the boat sends Shiva falling off into a great white shark's open mouth. Axel laughs as Shiva's chewed up. Page 5. Blaze is walking the streets. Suddenly, a robot clown with a whip and a kangaroo in trunks and boxing gloves show up. Blaze, sigh.
Okay.
The robot clown whips the kangaroo. Roo hops forth, and again before kicking Blaze to her ass. Roo hops along as Blaze gets up. She turns and uppercuts Roo. Then she turns to the clown's whip coming at her. Blaze takes the whip and yanks the clown forward. She jumps and spin kicks the robot away. Now Blaze has the whip. Roo comes hopping at her. Blaze whips the kangaroo across the face. It hops away. Blaze turns to the clown, tripping at her. Blaze whips the whip. The clown's ankles are tied by it, and she yanks. The clown hits the ground hard. Then Blaze jumps, cartwheeling, in the air before slamming her feet down upon the robot's head. It's smashed to pieces. Blaze smiles. Blaze.
Hop.
Roo doesn't know what to do now. It approaches slowly. Blaze realizes it wasn't but for the clown's whip that Roo attacked. Blaze.
You're okay now. Roo.
Roo hops forth and presses its head against Blaze's chest. Blaze pets Roo's head. Blaze.
You like that name? You want to fight with me?
Suddenly, two fat boys come upon them. They laugh it up. Fat boys in unison. The fat boys charge, blowing fire out of their mouths. Blaze and Roo hop up and away. Then the fat boys turn for another go, but this time, both Blaze and Roo are already jumping at them with their legs extended. Blaze kicks one, Roo the other. Page 6. Dr. Zahn is rushing through the mining cave, on the tracks, and he slaps one thug away, then quickly smacks another. He jumps up and drops down on the third. Zahn looks up to see a single track cart coming his way. With a businessman and a pistol, Zahn is fired upon. He puts his right arm up and the bullets spark against him. Zahn's arm blows apart. Zahn lets out a scream, then rushes off behind a wall as the bullets continue to fly his way. The businessman hops off the track cart and aims around the corner, slowly. Zahn kicks his leg out and sends the businessman soaring back up against a wooden pillar. The barrel platform above collapses. This businessman is buried, out of the game, but then Dr. Zahn turns to two more businessmen, each with a pistol of their own. Zahn darts for the track cart, still in motion as the bullets fly his way. Zahn breaks the control pad lid. He rewires the cart quickly, and now it speeds backward. Zahn. Incoming, motherfucks! The businessmen turn and run, but it's no use. The cart knocks them away like bowling pins. Zahn can't help but laugh. Then he stops as the cart is headed right for an avalanche of barrels. The track smashes through, and Zahn is covered in toxic waste. He rolls off the cart just before it hits a parked cart at top speed. The collision causes an explosion. Dr. Zahn stands up to look at it, before turning to a few punks approaching him with the steel bats. Zahn. How do you do? Zahn is being beaten by the steel bats, as the toxic waste eats away at his clothes and skin. His cyborg innards being exposed. Zahn quickly takes a bat and batters the punks senseless. Page 7. At the construction site, Axel is punching his way past 3 thugs. One is knocked against a steel propeller. Then Axel hits him again. The back of his head slamming and cracking open against the pillar. Another thug takes hold of Axel, and Axel throws him over his head. This thug slams against a parked bulldozer. The last punk rushes to the bulldozer, starting it up. Axel walks calmly towards it as the bulldozer comes right at him. Axel jumps up and over the blade, and he takes hold of the cab's outer rim. Axel swings his feet in and kicks the thug right out of his seat and dozes. Axel swings himself up on the dozer's roof before backflipping onto a steel platform. Surrounding Axel is the building under construction. There stands his 2 old friends, Adam and Skate. Axel. Let me guess. Robots. Yeah. The robot Adam and Skate head forth. Axel is backing away before he leaps at them. Adam grabs Axel and throws him aside. Axel slides across the platform and holds tight the edge. Skate skates by as Axel flips back up to his feet. Axel grabs Skate and throws him at Adam. Adam is struck and stumbles back. Axel charges. Adam throws Skate at Axel now. Axel ducks and slides out of the way as Robo-Skate falls off the side and into a cement mixer. Adam swings a fist, but Axel moves out of the way and backhands Adam away. Adam falls off the side, but takes hold of the edge before pulling himself up in haste. Axel, come get some. Adam leaps and Axel jumps straight up and his right leg up, henceforth kicking Robo-Adam's head off. The headless robot is then pummeled by rapid punches. It's shut down permanently. Page 8. Blaze enters the Blue Island Dance Club and Bar. There are mohawk dancing ladies in short skirts. Then they start to stare and put up their fists, still dancing as they come at Blaze, who's now taking off her jacket. Her red sports bra revealed, Blaze drops her jacket and heads for the dancer lady punks. They start swinging their fists. Blaze kicks one away, and she slams against the table. Another attempts to tackle, but Blaze swings her around, throwing her down a small flight of stairs. A third jumps at her, but Blaze uppercuts her into a spinning disco ball above. It shatters. The fourth and final dancing bitch is considering her options while Blaze waits. Then Rue jumps in, knocking her off. Blaze.
Way to go, Rue.
Blaze and Rue head for the next room, the bar. It's mostly blue, with a window into a giant water tank where a bull shark is swimming amongst its fish food. There stands the Cunt twins. Rue hops over to them, but they hop up just as quickly. A dual spin kick from each of them sends Rue slamming against the window. The window cracks a bit, and Rue is out cold. Blaze.
That wasn't very nice.
Blaze backflips out of the way as the Cunt twins jump about with astounding aerobatics. Slightly better than Blaze even. Blaze backflips again and again, evading their punches and kicks. But they don't miss by much. Blaze grabs one of them by the hair and yanks her down. She slams her right foot down on the cunt's chest, keeping it in. But then the other whacks her with the stool. Blaze spins around wildly, out of control. Then she's uppercutted by the stool and arches up in the air before slamming back down. Blaze is picked up and is punched in the gut before being flipped over the cunt's head. Page 9. The flattened twin now recovers, still weak. She watches as her sister picks Blaze up over her head and throws her across the bar into the bottle rack. The rack comes crashing down upon Blaze, who's whimpering. The weakened sister turns to Rue, who's recovered. Rue leaps off the bar counter and kicks the weakened sister back to the wall before pouncing on her again. Rue punches the cunt repeatedly until her face is swollen and bleeding. The other sister turns away from Blaze, who's recovering slowly. She attempts to help her sister when the cracked window breaks. In gushes the water, the fish, and the bull shark. The cut twins are washed away, then eaten by the shark. Blaze stands up, in the nude now, ripping away the shreds of clothing still attached. Rue has been washed out the back door just as the others. Out on the street, Blaze exits the bar, a little out of it, but slowly regaining her strength. She sees Axel kicking Rue's head in. Then Axel reaches down. Blaze.
Axel, don't.
Axel rips Rue's head off. Blaze.
Fuck me.
Now Axel turns his sights on Blaze and walks toward her. Blaze heads out into the middle of the street, the confused look on her face. Blaze.
There's only one way you could do the things you do. You're a robot.
She says, pointing. Now it's Naked Blaze versus Robo Axel on the streets of rage. Robo Axel makes a move. He jumps at her, and she backflips in the air, knocking him back in the air just the same. Except she lands on her booted feet, and he lands face first on the pavement. Page 10. Robo Axel gets up and runs at her. Blaze sidesteps out of the way, tripping him, and he goes skidding towards the bull shark, who's still chopping on the cunt twins. Robo Axel picks up the bull shark by the tail and swings it at Naked Blaze. Blaze roundhouse kicks the bull shark to pieces, but now she's covered in the bloody remains. Blaze.
Ew.
A pedestrian mother and son walk by, and the son points. Son. The shark blew up because it was sad that the lady lost all her clothes, Mommy. And now the Blue Island bar explodes. The son and his mother run away as fast as they can. Blaze and Robo Axel are sent soaring away. Flash to Dr. Zahn exiting an alleyway. Wondering about the explosion, he sees Robo Axel on fire, hanging next to Naked Blaze on the neon blue motel sign across the street from the now demolished and burning Blue Island bar. Dr. Zahn. What the fuck? Naked Blaze kicks at Robo Axel, and he drops. Dr. Zahn runs over, and as Robo Axel's outer flesh is completely burned off, and only his inner robot skeleton remains. Dr. Zahn rips the robot's arms off and beats it to pieces with said arms. The job is done. Zahn looks up to Naked Blaze, still hanging there. Dr. Zahn. Let go, Blaze. Blaze.
If you say so.
Blaze does as she's told. She drops into Zahn's arms. Dr. Zahn. We need to get you dressed. Blaze.
Why bother?
Page 11. At City Hall, Axel leaps over the fence. He races towards the main building. A guard in his suit aims his Uzi and fires. But Axel is able to dodge the rapid gunfire with his rapid moves. Axel tears the Uzi out of his hands and quickly snaps his neck. Axel aims and fires at another guard stepping up. This one drops dead, and Axel rushes over. He picks up a second Uzi, now one in each hand. Then Axel looks up to see a jetpack thug soaring overhead. Axel aims his Uzis, and the jetpack thug is shot out of the sky. Axel. Must be my lucky day. Inside, a meeting is taking place. The mayor is walking to the podium before a crowd of citizens and police officers, and there stands Max Thunder beside the mayor. Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen,
The city bombings are indeed the work of Mr. X. I promise to root him out wherever he hides, as well as find all these so-called robots, and promptly have them destroyed. Any questions?
Axel busts through the window via jetpack, and he fires with his Uzis. Max Thunder is shot to pieces. He blows apart, being a robot counterpart and all. The mayor gasps in horror. Mayor.
Axel Stone? Mr. Thunder was a robot? My own bodyguard was a flippin' robot.
Axel. Yeah, huh? Axel hovers above everyone on his jetpack, now aiming his Uzis at the mayor and opening fire again. The mayor is shot up into pieces. He blows to bits, being a robot too. Axel. Everyone remain calm. Axel lands. The podium opens up. Page 12. Axel descends down into Mr. X's new base of operations, built directly beneath City Hall, down into a blue mechanical hall. A robot steps out of the doorway and rips the jetpack off Axel's back and smashes it. Axel turns, backs away, and empties his Uzis into it. The machine still proceeds forth at first, but then drops. Destroyed. Axel drops the guns. Axel then turns and races towards the end of the hall. 2 more robots hop out of a door on each side. Axel quickly jumps and spins around like a tornado with his legs out. The robots are kicked to shreds. Axel lands. The door at the end of the hall opens up. Out steps 3 Mr. X's. Axel backs away as they each lift a Tommy gun. Axel dives from one of the doorways as they all open fire, dodging death in a heartbeat. But now Dr. Zahn and Naked Blaze smash through a wall. Zahn takes 2 of the Mr. X robots and smashes their heads together. The remaining Mr. X robot aims his Tommy gun and opens fire upon Dr. Zahn. Dr. Zahn. Dr. Zahn drops. Naked Blaze gets mad. Blaze picks up one of the Tommy guns and empties it into the last Mr. X robot. It's torn to shreds by the bullets. Blaze lets go the gun in tears. She kneels down as Axel steps out. Blaze looks up to see Axel and then grabs another Tommy gun, aiming it at him. Axel puts his hands up. Axel. It's me, Blaze. Blaze looks into his eyes deeply. She's convinced and drops the gun. Then Axel kneels down and they look over Zahn, who's died. Axel. He was a good soldier. Blaze.
He was our friend.
Page 13. Axel and Blaze rush down a dark corridor. Blaze is carrying one of the loaded Tommy guns. Axel. You're naked. Blaze.
Not quite. I've still got my boots on.
Axel. But of course. They reach the end of the corridor. Blaze.
Wrong way?
Suddenly the floor gives away beneath them. They fall onto a mechanical platform. Surrounding them is a well-lit machine. At the center, dead ahead of which is the brain of Blaze.
Mr. X?
Axel. Is that you? Mr. X.
Yes, it's me. Glad you made it. Now I can kill you. You're nude, aren't you? I can't tell because I'm seeing through a computer. Are those clothes?
Blaze.
No, I'm nude.
An awkward pause. Mr. X.
How interesting. Too bad I can't masturbate anymore. Damn shame, really.
Axel. Yeah, that sucks. Are we gonna fight or not? Mr. X.
Yeah, definitely. It's just,
Blaze opens fire with her Tommy gun. The big machine surrounding them is shot apart. The gun is soon emptied. Blaze, dropping the gun.
Are you coming out?
Mr. X's brain is collected in the mech suit. Mr. X mech steps on out and is ready for the fight. Page 14. Mr. X mech swats at Blaze, and she backflips out of the way. He swats at Axel, and he sidesteps out of the way, then jumps up before hammering his fist down on the mech head. Mr. X takes hold tightly, trying to crack Axel's back. Blaze leaps at the mech suit and is kicked away with ease. She hits one wall, whilst Mr. X throws Axel into the other. Then the ceiling collapses upon the mech suit, burying Mr. X. Suddenly, a door in the floor slides open. The fully dressed Blaze robot is lifted up via elevator, and her eyes are instantly on naked Blaze, and Blaze's eyes on the duplicate. Blaze jumps out of the way as Robo-Blaze brings her right leg down, smashing the ground. Mr. X mech breaks out of the mess and tackles Axel through a wall. Back to Blaze, front flipping out of the way of Robo-Blaze's right arm swinging her way. Blaze lands and slams her left foot into Robo-Blaze's side. The robot goes stumbling to a corner. It turns and Blaze is already in the air. Blaze lands on Robo-Blaze and wrestles her to the ground. Robo-Blaze picks Blaze up and throws her across the room. Through a wall. Then the robot runs after her through the hole. On a giant spinning disc, Axel is jumping out of the way of Mr. X mech's fist coming down. Repeatedly. The disc is smashed. Axel roundhouse kicks the mech suit across the head, and it spins around and around but does not disconnect. Back to Blaze, diving out of the way of Robo-Blaze, swinging her arms like a windmill. Over and over. Now Blaze brings her foot up into the Robo-Pussy. The head pops off. Robo-Blaze falls, and naked Blaze is kicked in the back by Mr. X mech. Axel leaps onto the back of the mech suit and starts ripping and opening up. He pulls the brain out and throws it into an electric field. The brain explodes. Page 15. Blaze is dressing herself in the robot's clothes. Axel helps her up as the two are helpless now, with the giant spinning disc breaks through the ceiling and earth. Into the city sky. Night is falling, and the spinning disc is spinning fast. Amongst the skyscrapers, Axel and Blaze can do nothing but hold on tight.
Hold on, Axel.
Axel,
The thought had occurred to me.
the spinning disc slams into the skyscraper, and then into another and another after that. The three buildings fall, demolished. Then the disc is over the ocean's surface. Axel takes Blaze's hand, and they jump off together as the spinning disc dives down right after them. It's subject to a series of small explosions. As the two heroes look up and free fall at it. Axel.
If this is it, nice knowing you, Blaze.
Blaze.
Ditto.
The two heroes hit the water surface, and right after the giant disc hits too. It sinks deep while Axel and Blaze do not. They swim alongside it as it does, and then the two surface. They take in the air. Axel.
Oh, that was fun.
Blaze.
And best of all, Mr. X is dead. For real this time.
They start swimming to the city's harbor. Axel.
Yeah, the three buildings were just demolished.
Blaze.
I just hope all the bombs were found and disarmed.
Just then does the entire city blow up. Subjected to boom after boom, the city is leveled. The end. Brendan O'Keefe, Streets of Rage 4, September 2nd, 2016. Page 1. The year is 1996. The city is still in ruins and the sky is forever darkened by the ashes and pollution. At a strip club, a gang is watching the strippers take off their bikini tops, exposing themselves in hopes of cash. But this city is without a police force these days, working more like an unguarded crime pit. In other words, ever since the city was leveled by the deceased Mr. X's bombs, all hope was seemingly lost. The strippers were pulled from the stage, then they were raped. Their screams could be heard echoing out into the street. That's when an Asian woman in a purple skirt and a long-tailed coat shows up. Her purple hair in a long ponytail. Her name is Rudra. The punks drop the strippers and approach menacingly, hoping for a piece of her as well. But she surprises the morons, diving right at them at full speed. She drives her fingers into one of their throats, and he gags horribly with his hands clasped around the damaged throat. Red roundhouse kicks one into a corner slot machine before kicking another back in the chest. She bends back at an extreme angle as a fourth punk swings at her. It's evaded. And she brings her foot back in a show of extreme aerobics. Catching this one in the mouth, he stumbles back, holding his bloody mouth. He spits teeth. Red turns quickly and jump kicks him in the chest, sending him crashing atop a breaking table. The fifth and final punk grabs a beer bottle and breaks it over the back of Red's head. She lets out a short scream before whipping around and taking the bottle from him. Then she jabs it deep in his forehead. Page 2. The raped strippers rush out of the strip club just as two more strippers enter. One blonde in blue attire, with fishnet leggings, just like Ledra. The other black-haired with a black attire, each with an electric whip. They each whip simultaneously, to which Rudra somersaults out of the way, and then again, successfully evading both whips twice each. But an attempted third doesn't go so well. Rudra is struck and is electrocuted. Rudra screams. She drops to her knees in agony. The whipping punks approach, smiling wide. They pull Rudra forth, but she quickly spins her legs around and sweeps the two off their feet. She jumps up and now holds the whips, one in each hand. The evil strippers crawl to the door, trying to escape, and Rudra whips them. The evil strippers are screaming now, being electrocuted. Rudra doesn't stop. She whips them again and again. Soon enough, the evil strippers are out of it. Charred and defeated, Rudra exits the club. Out on the streets, she looks from one end to the other. All is quiet until a gentle rainfall begins. Rudra dashes down the road until she comes up to a basketball court. There stand four bald punks playing a ball game. The ball enters the hoop, and one of the punks catches it. Now he dribbles it. He ceases as they watch Rudra climb over the fence to join them. The rain doesn't faze any of them. The ball is thrown violently at Rudra, but she catches it and throws it right back. The tosser has his face smashed back by the ball. He drops all bloody. Page 3. One of the remaining three walk up angrily. Rudra steps back as this one swings over and over, missing each time. She takes him by the throat with both hands and snaps his neck. The other two rush her, tackling her against the fence. They drive their fists and elbows into her torso. She's showing her teeth in pain, and is then punched in the face. She spits blood and is thrown back out into the wet court. Thunder rolls above. Rudra gets up and swings, semi-blindly. She misses and is roundhouse kicked into a spin to the ground. She drools blood, weakly pushing herself up. Now the other punk jumps up and drops down to elbow her backside. But she rolls out of the way just in time, and the punk breaks his arm in the failed attack. The standing punk lunges at her, and she drives her foot into his crotch. He squeals, and she drives the same foot into his face. He stumbles back. She stands up. She spins around in the air and karate chops his head. He falls face first onto the rain-drenched court. Rudra turns her sights on the broken-armed punk getting up, almost crying now. Rudra steps closer, calmly and menacingly. He backs away, not sure what to do. Broken-armed punk. Please! Rudra.
Please what?
The broken-armed punk tries to make his escape, but slips on the watery court and falls on his backside. He lets out a scream as his back has been badly damaged. He continues to yell out as Rudra returns and walks away victoriously. Page 4. In the city's mall inside parking lot, the Jason's gang are having themselves a light little meeting, with their machetes in hand and hockey masks over their faces. Jason 1. Mr. Big wants to gain control of all city gangs, like that Mr. X a few years back. Jason 2. I don't know. I think we're doing just fine on our own. What do you think, man? Jason 3. Strength in numbers. Maybe we should... What if we don't? And he succeeds and... Rudra appears with a shotgun in hand. Jason 4. Oh no. Rudra cocks the shotgun and kills the first Jason. He's blown back with his chest wide open. The other 3 Jasons charge with their blades raised above their heads. Redra cocks a shotgun and fires again. The next Jason's head is blown apart and he drops dead. Redra slams the shotgun up again and again, using it as a machete defense. The remaining 2 Jasons bring their machetes down again and again. Each time, Redra blocks it with her shotgun. Then she backflips out of their way, having had enough. She cocks it again and fires. One of the remaining 2 is shot back, flying in the air before he lands, smashing into a parked car's windshield. The last Jason throws his machete desperately at Redra. She turns her upper body out of its way, rather smoothly. The shotgun is empty now. Redra sighs, dropping it. Back to the last Jason running away, until his own machete impales him through the backside. Page 5. In the mall itself now, level 1, Redra runs along, past a fountain, until she's clotheslined to the floor by Mr. Big. Mr. Big. Looking for me, Redra? Redra.
Mr. Big, I presume.
Redra rises, being surrounded by thugs in business suits. She wipes the blood from her mouth. Mr. Big. You don't remember me. You and I were working for Mr. X a few years back. Both of us top of the line. His right hands, as it were. Redra.
Oh, it's you.
Mr. Big. Not surprised. We 2 and your brother Shiva. You only ever really answered to him anyway, right? Redra.
My brother is dead. You killed him.
Mr. Big. Wrong. Show her the tape. A businessman pulls up a portable monitor. Redra witnesses a beach scene on Mr. X's island. Axel is beating Shiva up, and finally a fiery fist caves in Shiva's face, killing him. Axel. Yeah! Eat it! The monitor is turned off. Redra.
Who was that?
Mr. Big. Axel Stone. And Blaze Fielding was there too, helping him. Redra.
Who are they?
The very bastards Mr. X was so pissed off at all the time. You remember, don't you? Page 6. Redra.
I'll settle with them. Where are they?
Mr. Big. Hidden in the center ruins of the city. They plot to ruin my big plans for gang unity. You must help me. Stand by me now, Redra, as you once stood by your brother. Redra.
No, stop right there. Axel and Blaze will answer for Shiva. But I'm not about to tolerate your bullshit. Fuck you, mister.
Mr. Big swings at her. She takes his arm and snaps it in an instant. He howls in pain. The businessmen pull their guns and Redra quickly kicks them out of their hands. She punches each one rapidly in the chests and heads. They fall back, unable to fight back. Redra picks up a pistol in each hand and turns to more businessmen advancing. Redra.
Fuck all of you.
She opens fire, killing them one by one. Mr. Big escapes. Redra chases after him. He pulls a trigger, pressing a button. Redra turns to the sound of an explosion beyond the walls. Outside, a tipping building is blown off its rest. Back in the mall, the roof comes down as the towering building comes down upon it. Redra runs for it, with the mass destruction chasing directly behind her. She runs faster and faster, narrowly evading the demolition. Out on the street, as the rain pours down, Mr. Big hops in a bus and his punk driver takes off. Redra chases after it and climbs at the backside of it. She's atop it now, as it races down the wet road. Page 7. Redra looks back for a brief moment at the collapsed tower upon the mall. It's quite a sight, but then Redra watches as 4 thugs climb out of the bus windows to greet her on top. One has a chain and swings it at her. She moves out of the way, and it's swung again. Redra catches it this time, pulling him forward into her fist, into his face. She has the chain now and wraps it around his neck, proceeding to strangle him with it. One of the other thugs rushes at her, and slips and falls and hits the pavement hard. Redra has strangled this thug to death, then unwraps the chain from him. He's kicked off. The other 2 charge, and Redra whips at one of their legs. He falls face first onto the bus top. The other dives at her, and she ducks. He's elbowed in the gut, and he brings both fists down on her backside. She's grabbed and swung around. Redra whips the chain up, and it wraps around his neck. She hangs there on the edge of the speeding bus, riding down the bridge now with an awesome view of the entire city in ruins. Rudra climbs up and palms the recovering thug back. He stumbles back and falls off the back end of the bus, out of the game. And now for the last. Rudra punishes him with a series of punches to the torso. Then she uppercuts him off the front end, and he hits the street ahead before immediately being run over by the front wheels. Soon thereafter, the back wheels. His body mangled to death. Inside the bus, Mr. Big takes control of the wheel. He swerves the bus back and forth, and we pan up to Rudra in a struggle to remain atop of it. Page 8. Rudra drops and hangs tight the front edge of the bus as Mr. Big signals the previous driver to climb up and take care of him. He does as he's told, and is immediately kicked off the bus, and he slams into a passing biker punk. The rest of the passing gang turns around and continues to pursue the bus. They beat at the sides of it with their mace bats, denting the sides, shattering the windows. Mr. Big looks back in confusion. Mr. Big, stupid assholes! Mr. Big turns the bus right and left. The bikers are knocked away one at a time. One even goes riding off the bridge into the third-story window of a tipping apartment complex. An explosion follows. Now Rudra above and Mr. Big inside, and below look ahead at the diesel approaching. Mr. Big, son of a bitch! Mr. Big hits the brakes as Rudra quickly rises and jumps into the diesel's trailer. The bus impacts against the diesel's front side, and a mighty big explosion is revealing itself. Rudra runs to the end of the trailer as the fire chases her. She somersaults off the back and hits the ground, still running from the fiery wreckage, still coming after her. She doesn't look back until all she can hear is rainfall and the cackle of the following fire. Rudra saluting.
Have a nice day, Mr. Big.
She blows the big Rex-side a kiss and dashes off, now at a cavernous site, made up of flattened buildings. Blaze walks up to Axel, overlooking a band of do-gooders unwilling to fight for their lives. Page 9. Axel. We're running low on supplies, and the gangs are closing in. Blaze.
Do you still want to leave the city?
Axel. Yes, I do. Blaze.
Then I'll tell them that.
Axel. Blaze, look. You'll tell them we're taking the subway. It's the safest route. These people aren't fighters like us. Blaze.
You really think the subway will be safe?
Axel. Not safe, just safer. Our best chance. Blaze.
Okay, I'll tell them. But when do we leave?
Axel. 1 hour. Time enough for everyone to get packed up. Leave this rotten city once and for all. Blaze nods and turns to a gang storming their hideout. Grenades thrown and explosions erupting. Screaming citizens being blown apart. Others are being beaten and shot to death. Axel and Blaze are wide-eyed and ready to attack the attacker's back. Blaze runs around a corner and brings her right foot up into a punk's mouth. Then she chops his throat and knees his gut. He drops. She takes his pistol and opens fire at another. This one drops dead. Over to Axel, punching his way through 2 more punks. Then a grenade is thrown at him, but he kicks it right back in the thrower's face. It blows him up. Axel. Yeah! Axel uppercuts another thug through a crumbling brick wall. Page 10. Over to Blaze, palming a thug in the chest. He goes dancing back and falls, rolling down a slope of rubble. Then he jumps up and bicycle kicks yet another thug in the chest until he breaks through a weak wall. Smash! We return to Axel right hooking a punk in the jaw, then bringing his left hook back into a creeping punk's nose, breaking it. Axel takes hold of the broken, bleeding-nosed thug, throwing him over his shoulder. He's thrown into 2 more punks coming around the corner. They all fall down. Now Axel turns and roundhouse kicks yet another punk to the rocky ground, and he finishes him via stomp. Up above, Rudra is crawling to an opening in the ruins. She overlooks the mass panic within. Then she pulls out an automatic rifle and promptly opens fire upon the many punks causing trouble. One is shot dead in a messy explosion of blood and gunfire, then another 3 right after. Blaze spins around, wondering what's going on. She turns to another gang member, tackling her to the ground and pinning her down, slugging her in the mouth twice. Over to Axel, rushing out to push a small child out of the way of the falling ceiling. He succeeds, but then Rudra opens fire upon him. The child is safe, but Axel's stone drops with many bullet holes to show for it. First to his knees, and then he drops on his right side. Rudra slides down, almost teleporting to him, it seems. Rudra.
Axel Stone. My name is Rudra. You killed my brother Shiva.
Axel. Oh yeah. Rudra empties the rifle's ammo load into it. Axel dies. Page 11. Rudra dropping the rifle.
And now I've killed you.
Back to Blaze rolling the punk over with a leg push. Now she's on top. Blaze punches him in the face multiple times rapidly. He stopped moving. Blaze.
Axel?
Blaze rises and looks down at Rudra, walking away from Axel's corpse. Rudra is politely guiding all the weak citizens to the subway entrance. Blaze jumps and flips twice in the air, tucked like a cannonball before landing on her feet before Axel. Tears fill her eyes, and she looks him over. Then her angered eyes lift up to the subway entrance. She stands up and races towards it. In the subway, the train is pressing on autopilot. Whilst the new passengers are getting comfortable, a gang of thugs come up in from the first cart. Rudra returns to fighting position. Rudra.
You all let me handle this.
Little girl.
You killed Axel. He was our friend.
Rudra.
He killed my brother. I don't expect any of you to understand.
Little girl.
Your brother was a bad guy, wasn't he?
Rudra can't help but admit that to herself now, when it's all too late. The deep down truth of it was always there, but she was so blinded by sentiment and couldn't let it go. Then the fight began. The thugs started punching Rudra around. She was clubbed in the back and the gut. She hunches over, wheezing in pain. They pick her up and one cracks her back over her head with ease. Page 12. Rudra is thrown into the hands of two punks and then is held at bay. She's punched and punched again in the gut and face. Blood spills out of her mouth and she's kicked between the legs. Then her head is taken and slammed into one of the punks' knees. Blood sprays out as she whines. Old man.
Maybe we should help her.
Old woman. Not that. She killed Axel. Punch after punch in the gut. Rudra is in lots of pain, coughing and gagging, and half-assed screams with airless lungs. Then Blaze breaks into the subway cart. The thugs turn and are being kicked around mercilessly by her. They are no match, it seems, for the rage-filled Blaze. Soon enough, they are all down for the count. Some are even dead. Blaze's citizen bunch cheer her on, but Blaze can only stare angrily at Rudra, who just barely manages to stand up from the beating she just got. Blaze.
You killed Axel. My Axel.
Rudra.
And he killed my brother, Shiva.
Blaze.
And he was trying to kill us. Cry me a river, bitch.
Rudra.
I tried to stop him, but he was in charge. And he was my only family. You don't
Spitting blood.
You don't understand.
Blaze.
I don't want to understand.
Blaze and Rudra charge one another, each with a fatal punch to the face. They both fall back with faces smashed and bloodied. Both lie there dying until death. The end.